Hello, and welcome to the coronavirus update video 33.0. We are on number 33 today, which is crazy. Today is Friday, the 17th of April 2020. Thank you for everyone who is joining in right now. Thank you for all the new listeners and the old listeners from day one. I really appreciate you guys coming back every single day, because it's you guys who are making these videos happen and making sure they are seen worldwide, literally worldwide. So again, thank you very much for all of this. Today we've got some numbers that we're going to be going through, but I'm going to wait for a majority of the people to start coming into these into this video before we start talking about the statistics, like I always do at every start of the video. So we're just going to wait for, of course, a lot of people to come and join in, because there is some news that has come out about the statistics that have been recorded in Spain. It's not major news. I think the media out here has really started coming down on it. But in actual fact, it's actually good that they're doing this now instead of later on. So yeah, it's good information. But we'll talk about that in a bit. But some statistics that have actually come out just from me personally. I actually, first of all, want to say a big thank you for my company, Keystar Properties, my father, for actually messaging me yesterday, asking me to put out these numbers, because I think, he thought that it would be nice for people to see the statistics that have actually happened over the last month, over the last 30 days. And yeah, I kind of agreed. So I put together this little charts with all of the statistics on this page, and it's kind of unbelievable to say the amount of views that these videos have been having. So as it stands of today, in total, we've been open for 30 days. This page has been live for 30 days. And we have reached 1.3 million views on these videos and on the posts. We have had over 500,000 individual views on these videos too, and engagements, about 55,000 just engagements, and that's all your likes and your thumbs up and your hearts for these videos as well. And we're over 10,000 followers, and these are, again, all organic. I have not paid or anything for advertisement. It's you guys who have been sharing these videos, and I just really appreciate exactly what you have done, because I think this information is crucial and it needs to be heard by a lot of the expat community here in Spain. Because I'm still getting, on a daily basis, I'm getting people messaging me of things that I've previously talked about in videos, but of course they're new to the page, so they might not have seen this. So it's so important for you guys to help me with this and try to share out as much as possible these videos to any family members, friends, groups that you're a part of, even pages. If you're a page admin, if you have a business, then share this information out, because this is the information that is actually true and is researched from government official documents. So I just really appreciate everything that you guys are doing. So yeah, we put out the post today, and you guys have just blown it up completely, and it's all the nice messages that have been coming back just saying thank you. But seriously, I want to thank you guys, because I would probably still do something like this, but I know I probably would have put a little bit less effort into it if I knew that it wasn't helping as many people as it is at the moment. And it's, every single day it's up to 1,000 views at the moment. So I just, again, blown away, absolutely blown away. Okay, so we're up to a good number now, almost up to 900. So let's jump into the statistics and the news that has come out today about the statistics as well, okay? So as of today, there are 188,068 people infected. That is 5,252 over the previous day, over the previous 24 hours, which is, again, it's a lot, but we expected this to happen because of getting phone calls. How about that? With the quick test that is going on at the moment, a lot of these infected people who might not have symptoms, they're getting tested, and now they're coming up. They're being released in the statistics. So yeah, we predicted that the infection rate will go up. However, we'd like to look at these statistics of ratio between the recovery and deaths as well. So as it stands for today, the recovery rate is 72,964. And some people will actually say, well, that's actually more than yesterday. Well, yes, it's less than yesterday. And yes, you are true about that. Yesterday it was 74,797, and today it's 72,000. So there is almost 2,000 difference here. Now, what can we take away from this? Well, basically, what's actually happened is, what's actually happened, I think, is, what I know has happened, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked there, is actually the government has put in protocols to record, because there have been different regions of Spain recording these recovery rates and these deaths in different manners. So they're recording some deaths that may have not been tested before, where they had the symptoms. And they've been recording the recovery rates, again, from people who haven't been tested, but maybe they have now been tested and it wasn't actually, in fact, a coronavirus. So this is basically what's happened. And the government have put out an official press release today stating that they are fixing this, and over the next 2 or 3 days we're going to be seeing a high and a low on these different, on the recovery rates and the death rates. So you can actually find this information on the official government website, which is boe.es, boe.es. And again, this is where I found out most of my information and my the documents that I translate as well, because they release new laws and new rules and new decrees every single day, but it's to do with anything, absolutely anything. So today, of course, they've released how they're going to be recording this information. And I haven't had time to go over it yet. I've still been replying to all of your messages, but I will try and have a little look into it this afternoon. So yeah, that's basically the news about it. There's nothing major with the deaths. There are 19,478, and that is 585 over the previous day. So again, this has only gone up like 300 since yesterday, but in actual fact, it's gone up 585. So again, these numbers are being rectified at the moment, and they're going to be fixing this over the next couple of days or so. But hey, it's still in the 500s. It has gone up, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Okay, let's jump into, first of all, some fake news. I like to lead on with some fake news, especially because I get a lot of messages from articles, from news organizations sent to me, and it's, again, crucial information that you think could be so important, but in actual fact, it's speculation on something, and they've made it into something that it shouldn't be. To be more specific, the news that actually came out today was coronavirus tests will be a priority on tourists when they eventually arrive back to Spain on the Costa del Sol and the Costa Blanca at holiday location airports. In other words, everyone who's coming through the airports in tourism areas, such as Valencia, Murcia, maybe Almeria, they are going to be tested for the coronavirus as they come through the airports. No, this is fake news. This is nothing to do with any government official that they've said that they're going to be doing about this. I had a look at the article that was sent to me, and of course, I like to do my checks. So the first thing I do, I check on any government official websites if something like this has been released. It has not. I've also checked with Spanish news organizations, because of course they're in Spain and they will get the actual identification of where this is coming from. Nothing has been released on any Spanish news organizations. So then I look at the article and I think about sources, and there are no sources from any government officials or any government pages at all. All that they have done is spoken to someone who works into the hotel industry, and this has just been a speculation of what they could do. Nothing about what they are going to do. However, the title says very clearly, eventually when they arrive back, they're going to be tested. And it's just horrible to see this, because of course people are now thinking, well, I don't want to be tested when I'm going, I don't have to organize a test before going to Spain. There's nothing like that whatsoever that's been put into place. So again, it's rubbish. When news organizations are putting out this information, you can put out this information, but don't scaremonger. It's as simple as putting the titles of people have spoken about tests arriving in Spanish airports. That's it. You know, nothing like this, where it hasn't been announced by any government official. Nothing has been in place whatsoever about people arriving in Spain and having a test automatically. Nothing has been put into news or anything. So I don't know where this is actually really came from. Where this came from. Okay, but we'll get on to the real news now. Today there was an announcement that President Sanchez, the Prime Minister of Spain, he will be taking the proposal for the extension of the 26th of April up to the 11th of May, and he will be taking this next Wednesday to Congress. Now, what can we take away from this? Well, yes, there was speculation that he was going to take it to Congress, but again, you will probably hear and read so many news organizations where they'll be saying extension until May the 11th and not giving the actual information in the headlines. And this, again, it's, in my opinion, scaremongering. The real information is he has to take this proposal to Congress on Wednesday, and it then has to be approved. Now, whether it will be approved on the Wednesday or whether it will be approved by the next couple of days, but it has to be approved by Congress and the Parliament members. And what I think is actually going to be happening is, again, it's got to be approved by the other political parties. And what I've seen over the last week or so with President Sanchez and the other political parties, a lot of them have said they will refuse any other further extensions beyond the 26th of April. Now, I don't know, of course, with the statistics that keep coming out at the moment, the levels of the death rate staying in a line at the moment, we don't know what their opinions could be next Wednesday. It could turn around, and yes, they could do a vote for it, and it is extended until the 11th of May, or it could be rejected. In that case, they would have to come to some sort of agreement between them, and this can again take another couple of days before anything like this will happen. So if you're seeing any news articles about extension to the 11th of May, no, it has not been confirmed. It still has to go to Congress, and in fact on next Wednesday, when President Sanchez goes to Congress, he still has to try and convince people to extend to the 11th of May. Now, also with this extension, with this proposal, there will probably be some sort of amendments with the rules that are currently being in place at the moment. We don't know if this is true or what's going to be happening, but some speculations of what's been happening and what could be lifted. It's basically people have already started speculating on the dates of lifting, and again, nothing like this has been released by government officials at all. It's just people talking at the moment. That's all it is. So if you do see anything about bars and restaurants opening up on the 5th of June or something like this, again, nothing like this has been confirmed. I think President Sanchez might have something that he will want to amend and change, but I don't know what that could be until he starts releasing this, and I'll be sure to be watching it live as well. Also, there's been talks at the moment, this is actually from the Moncloa. There have been talks about, yes, how they're going to be coming out of extension, but the only information that they've actually done is to do it in 2 phases. They're most likely going to be doing it in 2 phases when we are out of lockdown. Now, the 2 phases, they didn't go into it deeply. They were just basically talking about, of course, it will probably be the majority of the people being released, as in families with children. And this is what a lot of the parliaments and presidents of the local regions, or the national regions, sorry, they are requesting that families be able to go out to exercise with their children, or to be able to go out and walk with their children. That's actually what I think a lot of people are pushing for at the moment. So if this is the case, then it could look like from the 26th onwards, or even from May the 11th onwards, that families will be able to take their child out and maybe exercise with them a little bit. We have no further information about whether people or adults would be able to go out and exercise by themselves. But again, I think it's a good idea. Other things have been done in France and Italy and stuff like this. But again, nothing has been confirmed. So if you're seeing articles where they're saying that the extension could be lifted and people can now exercise, it hasn't been confirmed. Nothing has been confirmed yet. It's a good idea, but still, we're still in the unknown with this. Okay, now speaking of children, of course, if children were able to go out, a lot of people have been talking about, well, will they need masks? Will we need masks? And again, the government has still handing out millions of masks every single day. And this is a lot for the commuters going to work in the major cities of Spain, such as Madrid and Barcelona. But they're also starting to get to the local towns around my area, in Murcia, Valencia and Almeria. They're starting to get into different areas now, and they're handing out the masks to a lot of the different people, door to door. Now remember, it should only be someone from Red Cross, Guardia Civil or police that should be handing these out. If someone else is handing out these masks, you should be very, very cautious. Do not invite them into your house. Do not put on the mask in front of them. This again is just in case anything bad could happen, okay? But some people have been asking about whether we will have masks and whether it will be a law to have masks when going out. Again, I think the president made it clear in a conference that he had a couple of weeks ago, where if something like this was to be put into place, he would have to make sure that masks were easily available to everyone. As it stands at the moment, it's not going to be an easy job to get a mask to every single citizen of Spain. So I don't think that it will be a law to have a mask. And people have been asking about, will I need a mask for kids? And again, the advice is no. It can actually cause a few more problems, especially if they're young, less than 2 years old, for example. No, I think that's a ridiculous idea to put a mask on a 2-year-old or less. And in fact, some manufacturers, they are still making, or they are currently starting to make masks specifically for children. This would be maybe 5 upwards. But again, nothing has been confirmed about whether they would need them or if they would have them ready for public use. So again, take it with a pinch of salt how you would like. But again, I don't think kids would need to have masks, and I don't think it will be a law to have a mask when you're going out either. But Valencia have actually announced that on Monday, next Monday, they are going to be releasing in most pharmacies and town halls, they will be offering free masks for anyone who is over 65 years old. So if you are in the Valencian region and you haven't got masks and you're unable to get any masks, you will be able to pick them up, or you can actually contact your local town hall and they will actually deliver to your door, which is very, very good service that they're doing. But this is going to be for over 65-year-olds, okay? So of course, you would have to have proof of your age, but that's it really. Okay, let's move on to the next news. And we're going to go on to fruit pickers. Oh, this was great seeing all of this news coming out of Ireland, but there's some news also in Spain as well. So the big news that came out in Ireland that I can't remember the number of the amount of pickers that were flown into Ireland to start picking fruit. I'm not going to give my 2 cents on this. You guys comment what you feel about people or the companies sending in people from other countries to pick fruit in Ireland. What do you guys think about this? Because I want to hear your opinion, whether you think it's something that could have been dealt with another way. Maybe the government could have helped out a bit more and offering an easier service for people to help. I don't know. What's your opinion on that? But actually in Spain, yeah, fruit picking is also, I did mention this, I think in video 7 or 8, where a lot of the fruit and vegetable companies in Spain, they were looking for fruit pickers. And I did talk about this within the first week of lockdown in Spain, that a lot of companies will be looking, and they are currently looking for people. And actually in Alicante, they've actually taken on over 2,000, or a company in Alicante have taken on over 2,000 fruit pickers. And all of these people are actually people who were on unemployment in paro. So these are Spanish citizens who were unemployed and they are now working. And of course, with the minimum wage in Spain, they're actually getting a good amount and more than what they would be getting on el paro as well. So that's, again, news from Spain. I think you guys can take away what you want from that story and compare it with the story in Ireland. But yeah, kind of interesting there. Moving on. Roadblocks are still going ahead from Guardia Civil and police and Tráfico as well. They are still roadblocking a lot of the major motorways and roads, taking the people inland to the coast. I'm still getting messages on a daily basis about my neighbour has just arrived. They haven't been since last year or something like this. Again, I've given the advice and the same advice every single time. Call the local authorities, or call your local authorities, such as 112, the police. You can go online and you can find a local number for the police for your local, for your town or your city. That's the best advice that I can give you, because unfortunately I can't do anything from where I am here. The only people who are able to do something is the police. We have heard different reports about they're unable to move them once they are in the property. However, this is just speculation from people commenting on here. I don't actually know the rules on this from a Guardia Civil or police. The only thing that I think they might be able to do, they might not be able to evacuate them, eject them from the house, but they will be able to find them. And I think that is a clear defiant on how they should be handling this and finding people as much as possible if this was the case. So, yeah, if you do see someone who is now in a place where they haven't been for the last 6 months or 8 months or so, it's a secondary home, then, yeah, contact the local authorities, okay? And speaking of fines, now a couple of documents have been circulating on Facebook, especially about the pricing of rules and fines, and if you break a fine, if you break a rule, what fine will you be receiving? Now, we've talked about this a couple of times about the fines being put out, people going shopping for further distance than their nearest supermarket, and they're getting fined of up to 2,000. But basically what the piece of paper comes down to is the main two, which is the first offence, if you are breaking any of the rules, as in you're going out for a walk, or you are further away from your property than you should be, or you're taking 5 kilometres to take your rubbish to the bin. Yeah, this is rule breaking, and this is basic rule breaking. They will fine you. Now, if you are fined on the spot, you will have to have your identification with you. If you do not have your identification with you, it will be 700 euros. So if you have your ID with you, it's 600 or 601. And if it is without your ID, you have 700 euros. So it's an automatic fine for not carrying your ID with you. So what can we take away from this? Take your ID or your wallet with you wherever you go. That's the best advice that I can give you there. Now, of course, if you are traveling to work or something in the car, you would have your driving license anyway. But people maybe taking out your dog or taking the rubbish over, just stick your wallet in your pocket just in case, okay? We don't want people getting fined for silly reasons, okay? The document also goes on up to 30,000 euros. But this is basically people organising. I will give you the example of the 30,000. People organising social gatherings or events such as barbecues or fiestas. The organisation of this will actually be down to them, and it'll be around 30,000 euros and probably time in jail as well. And all the people involved in the event, the barbecue, fiesta, or whatever, they will also be fined as well. So do not go to any barbecues or anything like this, because you will also be at risk, okay? Right, let's go on to the next thing, which is restaurants. Now, some restaurants are now starting to put into place measures for when they come out of the lockdown. We don't know when this will be. A lot of people are asking what's my opinion on this. I'm not going to give you my 2 cents on this, because I really don't know when we will be out of lockdown and when certain sectors will be able to go back to work. However, restaurants are now starting to put into place different measures. And when I say different measures, it's what they're going to be doing, for example, in pharmacies and supermarkets. They've actually been putting up plastic paneling, like PVC paneling between the cashier and the customer. I think a great idea, something they can do in the restaurant as well, especially when paying your bill or in a long bar. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. But actually what they have been trying to organise in some restaurants, they're going to be putting glass panelings or plastic PVC panelings between the tables, and of course separating them out to at least 1.50 meters between each table as well. I think it's a great idea. So if you do have a restaurant or a bar, maybe you can start looking into this now, maybe contacting some local material companies, plastic companies, and seeing if they are able to do some fitting for you. If you've got a floor plan of your restaurant, maybe start planning out where things can start going to keep a distance of at least 1.50 meters. And hopefully when this is all lifted up, you'll be able to go back to work straight away. Okay, we'll move on to schools. Now, yesterday we did talk about schools about what basically is going to be happening. Now, the public primary schools, they are basically getting an automatic approval or a pass, so they will be going up to the next year. The same with up to the GCSE levels, which I talked about yesterday, and of course some people got a bit confused me mentioning GCSEs. The only reason I was mentioning GCSEs is because it's the Spanish equivalent of ESO and Bachillerato. So A-levels, GCSEs was the word that I was using just to help translate with the levels in Spain. But the information that I released yesterday, it is only for public schools. We had a comment yesterday from a teacher who has been given different information, but yes, he is part of a private language school, an English language school, I think. So if it's a private sector, that's completely different. If it is a public Spanish school, then that is what they will be following, okay? Right, and that is almost it. We've got 2 more things that we're going to go over very, very quickly. Now, I had a couple of people messaging me yesterday about animal shelters, and I think, yes, I love animals myself. I'm going to give a mention to this now. So a lot of you here, I guarantee you are animal lovers too. You've probably got a rescue cat or a rescue dog. And I think it's something that we can all show our appreciation for the work that they're doing at the moment, and maybe even do some donations. So what I would like you guys to do, if you are able to, and I'm only saying if you are able to, because I know that some people haven't been paid for their self-employment or your edite or paro, you haven't been paid yet. So I completely understand if you're not able to at the moment. But if you can spare an extra 5 or 10 euros, my advice at the moment would be to Google your local shelter, your local cat or dog shelter, if you know one on Facebook, and see if they have a donations page. Most of them do, and it's connected to a PayPal account. And you can create just a quick payment to them, maybe a 5 euros, a 10 euro, even a 2 euro donation to them. Every little bit helps. So I want to take this opportunity. I have the means to be able to share it with so many people, and I'm going to take this mean. It sounds very selfish for me to do, but I think we should do good on this, okay? So if you are a part of any animal groups and you would like to help out, go and make a 5 euro donation. I myself will be doing a donation to the local dog shelters around me as well, just because I think what they are doing is remarkable, and it's heartbreaking to see. And I've been there, even with the flooding and everything as well. We went down with sacks of food, myself and my father, just to donate, because we knew that a lot of their food and everything had been destroyed in the flooding. So we just wanted to help as much as possible. So if you guys can do the same, I would really appreciate it, definitely, and I know they will as well. Okay, the last thing that we're going to talk about, yesterday's webinar. I was part of a webinar talking about the real estate industry and the real estate sector here in Spain, and the property industry as well. It was good. It was very, very good. But a couple of questions that I asked and answered, and I think we got a lot of information from it. But the main question that was asked, and I got an answer for straight away: can sales still go ahead? Yes, sales can still go ahead. Basically, what the agents need to be doing, they need to be talking with the mortgage brokers if there is a mortgage involved. The banks are open, so you are able to talk to banks about the mortgages as well. The only difficulty that will be is, of course, getting an approval for the mortgage, where they will have to go to the property to do the measurements and everything as well. So that's going to be the difficult part. However, the whole process should be able to go through during the lockdown. And the other thing that they did mention is if someone is in another country and they haven't given the power of attorney to their lawyer, they're able to go to their notary office in the country that they are based at the moment and able to give power of attorney to their lawyer here in Spain. So there should be no exception on nobody completing with these sales that are currently going through. And myself being in real estate as well, I think it was important to share this information out to you as much as possible, because a lot of people are still going through sales. We've still got sales going through as well, so it's good information I think we could share there. Right, and I think that is it for the moment. Now, I'm still going to be doing all of these videos up until the end of the lockdown, and maybe even further. But yeah, I think that's where we will finish there. Okay, the next thing and the last thing is, of course, your question of the day. Now, every single day I like to do a question of the day where you guys can respond, you can answer, and yeah, basically talk about anything really. So yesterday, I believe the question was, what would you do for what would you do 100 times for £12 million? And you guys answered so much, and I think the most creative ones were giving out hugs 100 times for 12 million. So I thought that was very, very good as well. But actually, your question of the day today is going to be, where was it? There, dream. What has been your craziest dream? And now, I mean not a dream as in something you want, a dream as your sleeping dream. What has been your craziest dream? The reason I'm asking this question is because I've had a couple of people messaging me recently about mental health, and they're not able to sleep at night because they've been having these dreams. And yeah, I've had a couple of dreams as well. They've been very weird. So I wanted to ask you guys, maybe have you guys been having some weird, crazy dreams recently? If so, give me a little comment down below. I would like to see someone else maybe having a crazier dream than my hot dog story, but we won't go into that at the moment. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to share this video as much as possible to get it out to as many people and to many eyes as possible. And I will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m, just like every single day. If you need to set your alarm on your phone at 4 o'clock. Some people have been doing it on Alexa, setting an alarm on Alexa to remind them at 4 o'clock every day. I think it's a great idea to do as well. For the moment, that is it for today. Remember, 8 p.m. every single night, get out onto those balconies, get out onto those gardens, and give a round of applause for the people on the front line. And I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay?